I want to ask you a serious question. If magnesium is supposed to help men over 50 feel calmer, sleep deeper, and wake up stronger, why are so many men taking it every day and still waking up tired? Because if that is you, this video is not here to shame you. It is here to explain the missing piece most people never think about. You have heard the advice 100 times. Take magnesium. It will help you relax. It will help you sleep. It will help you feel like yourself again. So you do the responsible thing. You buy the bottle. You take it daily. You stay consistent. 1 week becomes a month. 1 month becomes 3. And then you notice something that is hard to say out loud. You still wake up exhausted. Your drive still feels lower than it used to. Your afternoons still crash. Your body still feels older than your calendar says it should. That frustration is real, and it does not mean magnesium is fake. It does not mean you failed. It means you might be expecting one supplement to do the job of an entire system. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Supplements rarely work like a light switch. When they help, it is usually because the conditions around them are right. The form you take, the timing you take it, what you eat, how you sleep, how stressed you are, what medications you are on, what health conditions you are managing. All of that changes what your body can actually do with the same pill. That is why this pattern is so common. A man takes a popular supplement, expects a clear change, and gets a small effect or no effect. Then the doubt starts. Is my body broken? Is this just age? Is nothing going to work for me anymore? If you have had those thoughts, listen closely. Your frustration makes sense. It is not laziness. It is not lack of willpower. It is not a personal failure. It is a signal that the approach might be incomplete. In the next parts, we are going to unpack this in a practical way. Why some people respond to magnesium and others do not. How timing and daily rhythm can influence sleep quality and recovery. And what common nutrition gaps can quietly limit progress even when you are consistent. We are also going to do this responsibly. No miracle promises, no guaranteed results, no one-size-fits-all protocol, because your body is not a template. It is a real system with real variables. One quick safety note before we continue. This video is for education, not medical advice. If you take prescription medications, especially blood thinners or blood pressure medication, or if you have kidney disease, talk with a qualified clinician before changing supplements. Now stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand why the same supplement can feel useless in one routine and helpful in another, and you will leave with a safer, smarter framework for what to try next. Now let us talk about magnesium itself, because it is not a scam supplement and it is not useless. Magnesium is a real mineral your body uses every day. It plays a role in nerve signaling, muscle function, and relaxation. That is why so many men feel drawn to it after 50. If you deal with restless sleep, tight muscles, or that wired but tired feeling at night, magnesium may support a calmer nervous system. Some people notice they fall asleep easier. Some notice fewer cramps. Some notice their body feels less tense. So why do so many men take it consistently and still feel stuck? Because magnesium is rarely the whole story. Think of your recovery like a team, not a solo performance. Magnesium is a solid player, but it is not always the captain. It does not automatically decide where to go, when to work, or what system to prioritize. Your body uses minerals through a chain of signals, enzymes, and daily rhythms. When that chain is missing links, the results can be small, even when the supplement is decent. Here's a simple way to picture it. Magnesium is like a skilled technician, but a technician still needs a plan, the right timing, and the right tools around him. If the plan is unclear, the work becomes slow. If the timing is wrong, the work gets interrupted. If the tools are missing, the job never fully finishes. In the same way, magnesium may be present, but without the right context, it may not deliver the changes you expected. This is also why the form and routine matter. Many men take magnesium in the morning with coffee or on an empty stomach, then rush into a stressful day. For some people, that routine can lead to poor tolerance, inconsistent absorption, or simply the wrong fit for their sleep goals. Others take it randomly, sometimes at noon, sometimes at night, sometimes with a heavy meal, sometimes with nothing. Then they try to judge the result, but a body that runs on rhythm responds best to consistency. So the point is not to fear magnesium. The point is to place it correctly. Instead of thinking, I need more magnesium, the smarter question is, what is magnesium supposed to support in my routine? Is the goal better sleep quality? Is the goal less muscle tension? Is the goal supporting circulation through healthier daily habits? Once you define the goal, you can build the rest of the system around it. And that is where we go next. We are going to connect magnesium to the larger picture, including timing and the nutrients that often work alongside it. Not to sell you a miracle stack, but to give you a clearer framework that is safer, more realistic, and more likely to make sense for your body. So if magnesium is a strong player but not always the captain, the next question is obvious. What is giving it direction? What tells your body when and how to use it? This is where we make an important shift from supplement thinking to systems thinking. Magnesium supports a lot of processes in the body. It is involved in nerve signaling, muscle function, and the way your blood vessels relax and contract. Some pathways connected to circulation also rely on magnesium as a helper. That does not mean magnesium alone guarantees better energy or better blood flow. It means magnesium is part of a larger network that needs the right signals to run smoothly. Here is the concept that many people miss. Your body does not just absorb nutrients, your body activates them. It turns pathways on and off based on what else is present, what your routine looks like, and what your internal biology is trying to do at that moment. In simple terms, you can have the building materials on site, but if the crew never gets the blueprint, nothing gets built. In many wellness conversations, two nutrients often show up as part of that blueprint, vitamin D3 and vitamin K2. Now let us be careful and stay grounded. This is not a promise that everyone needs these supplements. It is not a claim that they will fix every symptom. But it is true that D3 and K2 are involved in important body functions that overlap with the goals many men care about after 50. Vitamin D3 is linked to multiple systems, including immune function and muscle performance, and it plays a role in how the body regulates certain gene activity. Vitamin K2 is involved in proteins that help manage where calcium is used in the body, especially in bone and vascular tissues. Here is why that matters in the magnesium conversation. If you are low in vitamin D, your body may not handle minerals the same way. And if K2-related pathways are under-supported, calcium handling may not be as balanced as you want. These are not dramatic statements. They are simply reminders that nutrients work as a network. One piece can limit the performance of another. That is what people mean when they talk about missing switches. Not magic, not secret knowledge, just basic coordination. And this is also why the solution is often overlooked. It is not exotic, it is not a rare herb, it is not a special hack. It is a simple question. Are the supporting nutrients and the overall routine aligned with your goal? Before we go further, I want to hear from you. Comment 1. When do you usually take magnesium right now? Morning or night? This will help me tailor the next part to what most of you are actually doing. Now that you understand the missing switches idea, we need to talk about the lever that decides whether those switches even get used. Timing. Most men never think about timing. They think about the bottle, the label, the dose, the brand. Then they take everything in one shot in the morning with coffee because it is convenient, and convenience feels like discipline. But your body is not a calendar reminder. It is a rhythm-driven system. Every day, your biology shifts between two broad modes. During the day, you are in go mode. Your brain is alert, your muscles are ready, your body handles stress, movement, decisions, and digestion. At night, you are supposed to move into restore mode. This is when your nervous system downshifts, your tissues rebuild, and your recovery signals do their best work. That is not a spiritual idea. It is basic physiology. Sleep is not just rest. Sleep is a repair environment. And the quality of that environment depends on what your body has available and what your body is trying to do at that time. This is why timing can matter as much as what you take. If you take supplements at a time that does not match your goal, the result can feel weak, not because the supplement is fake, but because the signal is wrong. For example, if your goal is deeper sleep and calmer evenings, taking a stimulating routine in the morning may not help that specific outcome. And if your goal is nightly recovery, swallowing everything at breakfast and hoping it carries through the whole day may not fit how your body actually uses nutrients. Now let us keep this honest and safe. There is no single perfect clock time for everyone. Your schedule, your sleep pattern, your medications, and your health conditions all matter. Some people tolerate certain nutrients better with food. Some people feel fine taking them earlier. Some people should not take certain supplements at all without medical guidance. But the principle still holds. Your body runs on timing. And when you align your actions with that timing, you often get more value from the same inputs. This is why the nighttime idea is so compelling in these discussions. Many repair processes are more active during sleep. Stress hormones tend to be lower. You are not eating a large meal. You are not fighting traffic or emails. Your system has a clearer job. Calm down, restore, rebuild. So instead of thinking I need a bigger dose, the smarter question becomes, am I taking this in the part of the day where it supports my goal? That is a safer and more realistic approach than chasing stronger pills or stacking random products. In the next part, we are going to turn this timing concept into a practical routine, not a miracle protocol, a simple framework you can adapt. We will focus on consistency, sleep support, and smart placement so you stop wasting effort and start building a routine your body can actually use. So let us translate the timing idea into something you can actually apply, not as a miracle cure, not as a promise, but as a simple, structured routine that many people find easier to follow than guessing. Here is the basic concept the transcript describes. If your goal is better sleep quality and better overnight recovery, you build a small evening routine around 3 pieces. Vitamin D3, vitamin K2 in the MK7 form, and magnesium in a form that is often better tolerated at night, commonly magnesium glycinate. Now I need to say this clearly. This is educational content, not medical advice. Supplements are not safe for everyone. D, 3 dosing depends on blood levels, sun exposure, diet, body weight, and health conditions. K, 2 may be unsafe if you are on certain blood thinners. Magnesium can be risky with kidney disease. So do not copy a protocol blindly. Use this as a framework, and if you take prescription medications or have chronic conditions, discuss it with a qualified clinician. With that said, here is the structure. First, you do not start at bedtime. You start with dinner. Aim to finish dinner early enough that your body is not still working hard on digestion when you lie down. A heavy late meal can keep your system in go mode. The goal is to let your body shift toward restore mode. Second, place your supplements in a consistent window after dinner and before sleep. Many people choose 30 to 60 minutes before bed, or around an hour after dinner, because it is easy to remember and it fits the evening downshift. Consistency is more important than chasing a perfect minute on the clock. Third, take D3 and K2 together as a pair. The reason often given is practical. D3 is fat-soluble and absorbs better with food that includes some fat. K2 is frequently paired with D3 in wellness discussions because both relate to calcium handling and bone and vascular physiology. Again, this is not a guarantee of outcomes. It is simply the logic behind the pairing. Fourth, add magnesium glycinate if it is appropriate for you. Glycinate is commonly chosen at night because many people find it gentler on the stomach and more calming. Some forms of magnesium can cause digestive upset in some individuals, so tolerance matters. If magnesium affects your stomach, that is not weakness, it is just feedback. Adjust the form, the dose, or the timing with guidance. Fifth, include a small amount of healthy fat if you are not taking the supplements with dinner. A few nuts, a slice of avocado, or a teaspoon of olive oil is often used in examples because it is simple and supports absorption of fat-soluble nutrients. The final message of this section is the most important. Do not chase high doses. Do not stack 10 products. Build a routine that is consistent, safe, and aligned with your sleep window. The goal is not to force your body to change overnight. The goal is to stop wasting effort and give your recovery signals a stable nightly pattern. Once you have that simple evening structure in place, the next question is why it might matter at all. Why does the body seem to respond differently at night than it does during the day? And why do so many people feel like they sleep for hours but still wake up unrefreshed? This is where the circadian rhythm concept becomes useful. Your body's not doing the same job at 2 inches the afternoon that it is doing at 2 inches the morning. During the day, your systems are built for action. You are moving, thinking, reacting, digesting, and handling stress. Even if you feel calm, your physiology is generally pointed outward. At night, the direction changes. Your system is designed to shift inward. This is when the brain and body prioritize maintenance. A good way to picture it is the Night Repair Orchestra. Not because it is mystical, but because it captures one simple idea. Many processes have to happen together for recovery to feel real. Sleep depth, nervous system downshift, hormone signals, tissue rebuilding, energy restoration at the cellular level. When those parts sync, you wake up feeling steady. When they do not sync, you wake up tired even after a full night in bed. In popular science language, people describe this as a coordinated cycle. Melatonin helps signal that it is time to rest. Some repair-related hormones tend to rise during deep sleep. Blood vessels can relax when stress signals are lower, and inside cells, mitochondria, are doing constant maintenance work to keep energy production stable. None of this means you can hack your way into perfect health. It means recovery is a process, not just a number of hours. This is also why nutrient status can matter. Vitamins and minerals are not energy in a direct sense, but they support the enzymes and pathways that keep systems running. If the body is missing key building blocks, the orchestra still plays, but the sound is weaker. You may sleep but not feel restored. You may rest but still wake up foggy or heavy. Over time, that can show up as fatigue, stiffness, slower recovery, and a sense that your body is aging faster than you expect. Now stay grounded with this. Symptoms have many causes. Sleep apnea, medication side effects, stress, poor sleep hygiene, low activity, and health conditions can all create the same feeling. That is why this content is education, not diagnosis. But the framework can still help. Instead of chasing stimulants in the morning, you build a stronger night. Instead of adding extreme routines, you focus on synchronization. That is the purpose of the nighttime ritual described earlier. It is not a magic fix. It is a way to give your body a consistent signal that night is for recovery. Quick question for you. Comment 5. What time do you usually go to bed on most nights, and do you feel refreshed when you wake up? Just 2 short details. That will help guide the next steps. If the Night Repair Orchestra is the big picture, vitamin D3 is one of the signals that often gets overlooked inside that picture. Most people still think of D as the sunshine vitamin. They connect it to bones or maybe immune support, then move on. But in the kind of wellness narrative we are unpacking, D3 is treated as something bigger, more like a regulator that influences multiple systems at once. Now let us keep the language responsible. Vitamin D3 is a nutrient, and in the body it also behaves in hormone-like ways because it interacts with receptors that affect gene activity. That does not mean it is a miracle molecule. It means it can influence a wide range of functions, and if levels are low, you may not feel your best. One reason this matters after 50 is that low D status becomes more common. Many adults spend more time indoors. Sun exposure can be limited by work, weather, and lifestyle. And the skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight as people age. Add in diet that is not rich in vitamin D foods, and it becomes easy for levels to drift down quietly without obvious warning signs. When D3 is low, people may notice broad symptoms that overlap with what many men describe as feeling stuck. Lower energy, weaker muscle performance, low mood, slower recovery. And in some cases, concerns around circulation can become more noticeable, especially if sleep quality and activity are already not ideal. These symptoms are not proof of a vitamin deficiency. Many conditions can cause the same pattern. That is why lab testing and medical guidance matter if symptoms are persistent. In the transcript style we are analyzing, D3 is also linked to nitric oxide pathways. Nitric oxide is one factor involved in how blood vessels relax and support healthy blood flow. Again, this is not a guarantee of outcomes, but it is one reason people connect D3 status with vascular function and overall vitality. Here is the synergy connection. Vitamin D metabolism depends on several nutrients and processes. Magnesium is often discussed as one of the minerals involved in vitamin D activation and utilization. In simple language, you can think of D3 as a signal and magnesium as one of the helpers that supports how that signal is processed. This is why the nighttime stack is framed as a team. Not because you need more pills, but because one nutrient can limit the effectiveness of another if the system is out of balance. So the role of D3 in this narrative is clear. It is not just about bones. It is about regulation. It is about supporting the conditions where recovery, muscle function, mood stability, and circulation can work together more smoothly over time. And this brings us to the next vitamin in the stack. Because if D3 is the signal that increases certain processes, the body still needs a way to manage where those processes go. That is where K2 enters the story. So we just talked about vitamin D3 as a signal that can influence multiple systems. But once you raise that signal, another question shows up immediately. Where does the calcium go? This is where vitamin K2 enters the conversation. And the transcript frames it as the silent director, not the loud headline nutrient, not the one everyone talks about, the quiet one that helps guide the outcome. Again, we need to stay responsible with the wording. Vitamin K2 is not a miracle shield. It does not guarantee clean arteries. It does not replace medical care. But K2 is involved in activating certain proteins that help manage calcium in the body. In simple terms, it supports the idea that calcium should be used where it belongs, especially in bones and teeth, rather than accumulating in places where you do not want it. In the wellness narrative, this matters because D3 is commonly associated with increasing calcium absorption. That is part of why many people take D3 for bone health. But if you increase absorption, your body still needs proper regulation to handle that calcium effectively. That is the logic behind pairing D3 with K2 in many supplement discussions. The transcript uses a vivid mental model. D3 turns up the supply, K2 helps direct the delivery. Without direction, the system can become less efficient over time. In the script, the concern is that calcium can contribute to stiffness if it is not managed well, and stiffness can relate to circulation issues as people age. This is a long-term conversation, not an overnight symptom. It is about trends over years and decades, not quick fixes. Some of the technical language often mentioned here includes proteins like osteocalcin and matrix GLA protein. You do not need to memorize those names. The point is simply that K2 participates in pathways that help activate proteins involved in calcium transport and tissue regulation. That is why K2 is presented as protective in the broader story. Now, here is the key connection to everything we have been building. This is not about taking D3 alone and hoping for the best. It is about understanding that nutrients act like a network. One nutrient can change what your body is doing. Another nutrient can influence how safely and efficiently that change happens. And magnesium fits into that same network by supporting multiple enzymatic steps. So the role of K2 in this narrative is not just another pill. It is the missing coordination piece that makes the system feel complete. D3 supports signaling. K2 supports direction. Magnesium supports the process. And timing helps the body use that team when recovery is most active. Important safety note. If you take blood thinners or have a condition that affects clotting, you should not add vitamin K supplements without speaking to a clinician. That is not optional. That is basic safety. Now I want to hear from you. Comment 7. Have you ever heard of vitamin K2 before this video? Yes or no? And if yes, what did you think it was for? Now that we have covered the nutrient team and why timing matters, there is one more piece that decides whether any of it feels real in your life, your lifestyle stack. Because even the best supplement plan can underperform if your nightly routine is working against it. Think of your evening like a runway. If the runway is cluttered, the plane cannot land smoothly. Your body is the same. Recovery needs conditions: calm nervous system, stable blood sugar, low stimulation, enough hydration, a predictable wind down. These are not trendy ideas. They are basic inputs that shape sleep quality and overnight repair. Start with dinner, because dinner sets the rhythm for everything after it. If you eat very late or very heavy, your body is still digesting when you try to sleep. Digestion is work. It keeps your system active. So a practical target is finishing dinner 2 to 3 hours before bed whenever you can. Not perfect every night, just often enough to give your body room to downshift. Keep dinner balanced, a solid protein source, vegetables, and some healthy fat that supports satiety and can help avoid late night cravings. What you want to limit at night is the stuff that spikes your system. Heavy processed foods, sugary desserts, and large alcohol intake can disrupt sleep for many people. They can raise blood sugar, increase nighttime awakenings, and make the next morning feel heavier. Next, protect your light environment. Your brain uses light as a clock. Bright screens and strong overhead lighting late at night can make it harder to feel sleepy. A simple move is dimmer lights after dinner and a short screen break before bed. If a full hour is unrealistic, start with 30 minutes. The goal is not perfection. The goal is to reduce the signal that tells your brain it is still daytime. Then add gentle movement, not a workout. A slow walk, light stretching, or a few minutes of deep breathing can help transition your nervous system out of high alert. You are not trying to burn calories. You are trying to send a safety signal: calm body, slower breath, lower tension. A warm shower can also help as a sleep cue. Many people find it easier to fall asleep after warming up and then cooling down naturally. Again, not magic, just a consistent signal that the day is ending. Now, hydration. Many men avoid water at night because they do not want to wake up to use the bathroom. That is understandable, but mild dehydration can also make you feel worse in the morning. So the compromise is simple. A small glass of water about an hour before bed, not right before you lie down. Adjust based on your body and your sleep interruptions. Finally, mindset. This sounds soft, but it is practical. If you carry stress into bed, your body stays in go mode. A short wind down routine helps. Write one line of gratitude, or take 3 slow breaths, or simply sit quietly for 1 minute. The message you are sending is simple. The workday is over. Recovery can begin. This lifestyle stack is what allows the supplement routine to fit into real biology instead of fighting it. So here's where we bring everything together, because the real value is not a single supplement. The value is the framework. We started with a simple problem. Many men over 50 do one responsible thing. They take magnesium, but they still feel stuck. They still wake up tired. They still feel slower than they want to feel. And the worst part is the confusion. If I am doing the right thing, why do I still feel off? Then we reframe the story. Magnesium can be helpful, but it is rarely the whole story. It is a supporting player inside a bigger system, and if the system is incomplete, results can feel small. That is why we introduced the missing switches idea, not as secret knowledge, but as a reminder that nutrients work together. Vitamin D3 is often discussed as a regulator that supports multiple pathways. Vitamin K2 is often discussed as a director that supports calcium handling and tissue regulation. Magnesium supports many enzymatic steps. Timing helps your body use the team during the part of the day when recovery is supposed to happen. Then we made it practical. We built a simple evening routine, not a miracle protocol. A consistent window after dinner and before bed. A small amount of healthy fat if needed. A magnesium form that some people tolerate better at night. And we paired that with a lifestyle stack that protects sleep quality. Earlier dinner when possible, less late sugar and heavy processed food. Dimmer lights, less screen time, gentle movement, a warm shower, smarter hydration, a calmer wind down. Now the final piece is expectation and safety. If you change a routine that has been reinforcing fatigue for years, your body does not flip overnight. Many people who improve their sleep routine notice small changes first. Slightly easier sleep, fewer night awakenings, more stable mornings. That can happen within a week for some people, but not for everyone. Over the next few weeks, some people may notice warmer hands and feet, better morning energy, or improved sense of resilience. Over a couple of months, the biggest changes often come from consistency because biology responds to repeated signals. But do not ignore boundaries. Supplements are not a replacement for medical care. They do not diagnose or treat disease. If you have severe symptoms, persistent fatigue, or concerns about sexual function, you deserve a proper evaluation. Also be cautious with interactions. If you take blood thinners, do not add vitamin K supplements without medical guidance. If you take blood pressure medication, monitor how you feel and speak with a clinician before making changes. If you have kidney disease, magnesium should only be used with medical supervision. So here is the takeaway. Stop chasing magic, start building alignment. The right inputs at the right time inside a routine that supports sleep. And I want to hear from you. What is one change you can make tonight? Dinner timing, screen time, hydration, or a calmer wind down? Tell me in the comments. Your answer might help another person build a healthier routine too.